Beneath a sky brushed with the softest hues of dawn, a samurai home stands poised like the exquisite centerpiece of a delicate illuminated manuscript, its wooden beams and papered walls rendered with the precision of tempera and shell gold on vellum. Each element of this dwelling speaks in quiet whispers of an ancient discipline, a harmonious dance between strength and grace, woven seamlessly with the threads of duty and family. The house itself is an altar to tradition, where the artistry of architecture and the ritual of daily life converge in a tapestry of refined simplicity and profound meaning. The entrance gate, sturdy yet adorned with subtle carvings of plum blossoms and cranes, invites one to cross a threshold not merely of timber and mortar, but of honor and belonging. Sliding shoji screens, their translucent paper catching the early light like soft scrolls of parchment, open gently to reveal the inner sanctum. Within, polished wooden floors reflect the garden beyond, a living canvas of raked gravel and moss, patterns undulating like the delicate brushstrokes of a master calligrapher. Stones stand as silent sentinels, moss-clad and eternal, their placement deliberate as if composed with gold leaf in a medieval codex. Here, beneath the eaves that shelter generations, the very air hums with the weight of responsibility and the grace of inherited customs. Every shadow, every flicker of light, seems imbued with the reverence for a code that binds father to son, mother to daughter, and all to the unyielding ideal of Bushido, the way of the warrior. This home is both fortress and cradle, where the piercing clang of a sword strike is tempered by the tender murmur of poetry and the delicate fragrance of incense burned in quiet remembrance. The garden's meticulous design, its gravel raked into swirling waves in concentric circles, mirrors the ordered cadence of life within. Just as the artist's brush lays down each line with purpose, so too each member of the household fulfills their role with measured care. The samurai patriarch, the embodiment of stoic virtue, moves with a steady grace through this space, his presence as solid as the oaken pillars that uphold the roof. His footsteps, though silent on the polished floor, resound with the echoes of ancestral valor and the heavy mantle of leadership. Within these walls, the family's daily rhythm unfolds like a carefully illuminated page, each moment balanced with the precision of a miniature's composition. The samurai wife, poised with serene authority, orchestrates the household's intricate harmony, her hands deft yet gentle as she tends to the hearth and guides the servants with quiet wisdom. Her role, though often veiled in the subtlety of shadow and silk, is no less vital. She is the guardian of order, the keeper of honor's flame within the domestic sphere. The children, budding heirs to a legacy steeped in both martial prowess and refined artistry, awaken to the soft light filtering through rice-papered screens. Their world, framed by the warmth of tatami mats and the scent of pine wood, is one where lessons in calligraphy and poetry intertwine with the rigorous discipline of swordsmanship. Here, the pen and the blade are twin instruments of a singular purpose, to cultivate the mind and fortify the spirit. As the morning mist dissipates, revealing the garden's intricate patterns etched anew by the gardener's hand, the household itself seems to breathe in unison with the natural world beyond. The delicate balance of order and spontaneity, duty and affection, is etched into every surface, every gesture. The samurai home is not merely a dwelling but a living manuscript, its pages illuminated with the gold of honor, the deep hues of loyalty, and the soft shadows of love. Within this sacred space, time itself appears to slow, allowing the weight of tradition to settle like powdered pigments upon vellum. It is here, at the threshold of honor and home, that the true story begins, one of a family bound together not just by blood, but by the timeless artistry of a way of life that reveres strength, serenity, and the enduring power of ritual. The samurai household stands as both fortress and poem, inviting us to peer within and glimpse the delicate interplay of duty and devotion that shaped the heart of Edo, Japan. Step inside the gilded world of Edo samurai, subscribe and journey through history's illuminated tales with us. Beneath the eaves, where beams of polished cedar meet the sky, the samurai home breathes with a quiet dignity, each line and corner carved by hands steeped in reverence and skill. The house is no mere shelter, but a vessel for the spirit of order. Its wooden lattice windows filter sunlight as if through the delicate tracery of gold leaf, casting patterned shadows that dance like whispered echoes of ancestral voices. Sliding shoji screens stand poised like pages in a treasured codex, their translucent paper softened by the morning's gentle light, inviting both openness and privacy in measured harmony. Every element is arranged with a craftsman's precision, from the tatami mats, woven like threads of ink and linen, to the alcove where the scroll of calligraphy hangs, a painted verse that embodies the family's creed. Here lacquered chests rest quietly, their surfaces gleaming with the subtle shimmer of shell gold, while the hearth's embers glow faintly, as if recalling the warmth of 1,000 ceremonial fires. Outside, the garden unfurls as a living manuscript, raked gravel tracing swirling patterns that mimic the brushstrokes of a master illuminator, stones placed with poetic intent, embodying the balance between the wild and the cultivated. Within these walls, the air is tinged with the scent of incense, a hint of sandalwood that drifts like a sigh through the chambers, a reminder of the unseen forces that bind family and fate. The samurai household unfolds as a sanctuary of ritual and restraint, where every movement, every whispered word, is part of a choreography that honors the past while shaping the present. Here the patriarch's measured footsteps resonate like the steady beat of a drum, anchoring the household in discipline, even as the delicate rustle of silk heralds the grace and strength of the samurai wife, whose hands orchestrate the unseen workings of hearth and heart. This home is a living tableau, painted in subtle hues and gilded accents, where the ideals of loyalty, courage, and humility are passed like treasured illuminations from one generation to the next. The children, tutored in the arts of sword and brush, embody the delicate balance between martial valor and cultured refinement, a harmony captured in the interplay of light and shadow across sliding panels and polished floors. Within this sacred frame, daily life unfolds not as chaos, but as art, each moment a brushstroke adding depth and meaning to the grand narrative of family and honor. As dawn's first light filters through the papered screens, it reveals a world where discipline and tradition entwine, a realm where the samurai's code is not merely spoken but lived, in the solemn bow before the ancestral shrine, in the precise arrangement of tea vessels, in the quiet teaching of a young hand learning the calligraphy that will one day carry the family name. Thus, the household itself becomes a manuscript, each member a letter in a grand poem, each action a line in an unfolding story of duty and devotion, rendered in the luminous colors of a bygone era. From this sanctified setting, the rhythms of the samurai family emerge as a gentle yet unyielding force, guiding the soul through the intricate dance of public honor and private love. It is within these gilded walls, amidst the interplay of light and shadow, ritual and repose, that the true heart of Edo Japan's samurai life is revealed, timeless and tender, formidable and fragile, like the finest miniature painted on vellum. Here the story breathes, inviting us to step closer, to witness the sacred art of living in harmony with tradition's enduring call. The architecture of the samurai abode unfolds like an intricate panel painted in warm hues of cedar and cypress, each beam and post carefully hewn, bearing the grain and knots that tell tales of forest and sky. The walls, formed not of solid stone but of delicate sliding shoji screens, shimmer faintly in the morning light, a latticework of slender wooden frames stretching over translucent washi paper, filtering the sun's glow into soft, trembling patterns that dance like brushstrokes of muted tempera upon parchment. These screens, both barrier and portal, preserve the privacy of the family's inner sanctum while inviting the gentle breath of the garden beyond. Stepping through the engawa, a polished wooden veranda that encircles the house like a painted border gilded in shell gold, one's eyes are drawn outward to the garden, a living scroll unfurled in the earth. Here, gravel is raked with painstaking care into swirling motifs and parallel lines, evoking waves and clouds, each stroke deliberate and meditative, as if the garden itself were a painting in motion. Moss blankets, stone lanterns, and weathered stepping stones, their emerald softness contrasting with the crisp white gravel, like contrasting pigments balanced by a master illuminator's hand. Bamboo and pine stand as sentinels, their forms sculpted by seasons and human touch alike, whispering secrets through leaves that catch the light in a shimmer of jade and gold. Within this carefully composed setting, The household exists as a sanctuary where the harmony of nature and human endeavor is preserved with equal reverence. The tatami mats, woven from rushes, lay as a textured foundation, their pale green threads catching the morning's subtle hues, grounding the family's footsteps in ritual and grace. Hanging scrolls decorated with calligraphy or landscapes hang against simple wooden alcoves, framing the room's quiet dignity, much like the margins of a manuscript enlivened by marginalia that speak of philosophy and poetry. Every element, the architecture, the garden, the arrangement of space, speaks to the profound respect for order and beauty that infuses samurai life. This is a house where the boundary between indoors and outdoors blurs, where the breath of the natural world is woven seamlessly into the fabric of daily existence, and where the walls themselves seem to echo with the weight of silent ceremonies and whispered lessons. It is within this setting, framed by the soft rustle of sliding screens and the faint scent of blooming camellia beyond, that the household stirs to life. The morning light stretches across the polished wood floors, heralding the beginning of a day shaped by discipline and devotion. A day where the honor of the family is both shield and legacy, carried forth through the quiet dignity of these walls and the loving vigilance of those who dwell within. Within these walls, where lacquered beams meet the gentle translucence of shoji screens, life unfolds as a tapestry woven from threads of duty, family, and ritual, each strand shimmering with the quiet radiance of shell gold, binding past and present in a harmonious embrace. The samurai household is not merely a dwelling, but a sanctum where the echoes of ancestral valor and whispered oaths fill the air, weaving an invisible yet unbreakable bond among its inhabitants. Here, the clang of the sword is tempered by the soft murmur of poetry, the rigidity of discipline softened by the tender cadence of familial love. Duty, like a sacred brushstroke, guides every action, every breath taken within this space. It is the invisible compass that steers the samurai patriarch as he stands at the threshold of his chamber, a figure etched with the dignity of generations before him. His presence commands respect not through harshness, but through the measured grace of one who bears the weight of honor with quiet strength. From the earliest dawn, his role transcends the mere wielding of blade or command of battlefield. He is the moral pillar, a living embodiment of Bushido, the way of the warrior, whose lessons ripple outward like ripples on a lacquered pond. Within the delicate confines of the family, these lessons take root, nurtured by ritual and repetition. The children, arrayed in silk and careful embroidery, move through their days like characters in a painted scroll, each gesture deliberate, each word a note in a symphony of tradition. Their education is a sacred rite, not confined to the mastery of swordplay, but encompassing the arts of calligraphy, poetry, and ethics. The brush strokes they etch on rice paper are as much a lesson in beauty as a lesson in restraint, teaching patience and reverence. This disciplined nurturing shapes not only warriors but cultured souls, heirs to a legacy where strength and sensitivity are entwined. The samurai wife, often unseen beyond the veil of screens, commands a realm equally vital. Her hands, deft and steady as the finest illuminator's brush, orchestrate the daily rhythms of the household with a grace that is both artful and resolute. She is the keeper of hearth and heart, managing the intricate dance of domestic affairs, while upholding the sanctity of ritual that binds the family together. Her presence is a quiet force, a reservoir of wisdom and care that ensures the household remains a bastion against chaos. Through her guidance, the home itself becomes a living manuscript, each room a page where patience, order, and devotion are inscribed in the very air. As dawn gives way to morning light, the interplay of familial bonds and ritual unfolds in subtle, almost sacred patterns. Tea ceremonies held in alcoves framed by painted scrolls and flowering branches are more than mere refreshment. They are meditations on harmony and respect, moments where the mundane is transfigured into the sublime. The careful pouring of stie, Ming water, the delicate clink of porcelain, the serene silence, all speak to a reverence for balance and mindfulness that permeates the day. These acts, humble yet profound, reinforce the invisible threads of loyalty and virtue that hold the family together. In this miniature world, every detail is suffused with meaning. The placement of a tatami mat, the arrangement of a flowering branch, the measured cadence of a poem recited at dusk. Together, they create a living illumination, a vibrant tableau where the ideals of honor, love, and tradition are not simply taught but embodied, breathed into life by each member of the household. It is here, amid the interplay of light on polished wood and the whispered cadence of ritual, that the samurai home reveals itself, not as a fortress of stone, but as a delicate masterpiece of human devotion, a sanctuary where the soul of a family and the spirit of an age converge. From this serene foundation, the day's rhythms begin to quicken, stirred by the hushed rustle of silk and the first lessons whispered in the quietude before the world outside fully wakes. The household pulses with a gentle order, each moment a brushstroke painted with care and intent, setting the stage for the unfolding life within. And so, as the soft morning light deepens, the household prepares to embrace the sacred dance of duty and love that defines every day in the samurai home. The first light filters gently through the papered shoji, casting delicate patterns of dawn across polished wooden floors, where the samurai household stirs with reverence. Silk kimonos whisper softly against tatami mats, a subtle melody underscoring the unfolding morning rituals. Each movement, measured and deliberate, mirrors the care of an artisan's hand, gilding the margins of an illuminated manuscript. Quiet acts transformed into solemn ceremonies. In the heart of this ordered sanctuary, the patriarch assumes his role with dignified grace, embodying the virtues etched deep into family lore. He stands amid the wooden beams, sword resting by his side, a living emblem of discipline and honor. His mornings begin with the sharp cadence of swordsmanship, the rhythmic clash of wood against wood, the steady breath guiding each precise strike. His pupils, his children, watch and emulate, their young bodies weaving through the dance of combat with a mixture of awe and determination. Like the dark ink strokes in a calligraphy scroll, each lesson is essential, shaping not only skill but character, the fearless spirit and unyielding loyalty expected of their lineage. While the clang of bamboo swords and the soft thud of practiced feet echo through the courtyard, within the house, softer lessons unfold. The children, arrayed neatly on woven mats, cradle brushes in steady hands, dipping them into ink pots that gleam like pools of obsidian. With focused tranquility, they trace kanji, their strokes deliberate and flowing, as if breathing life into the ancient characters. Beside the calligraphy, sheets of poetry emerge, delicate verses whispered under the teacher's patient gaze. Waka poems, wrought from the heart's quiet musings on nature, honor, and fleeting beauty, connect the young samurai to the ebb and flow of impermanence and grace. Amid these tender scenes, the samurai wife moves with a sovereign's quiet authority, orchestrating the household with the elegance of a master painter blending tempera hues. Her hands, deft and sure, prepare the morning tea, a ritual as meticulous as any martial discipline. Steam rises in thin tendrils, carrying the subtle aroma of green leaves, swirling like gold leaf floating on vellum. The tea ceremony unfolds in deliberate sequence, each gesture a silent prayer to harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. She ensures the house is ordered, the room swept clean, the garden raked in swirling patterns that mirror the meticulous care painted into the margins of a treasured book. Together, these morning rites weave a tapestry of balance and purpose. The patriarch's lessons instill strength, tempered by honor. The children's education nurtures wisdom and artistry. The matron's stewardship maintains the sanctity of home. Here, the pulse of discipline beats in tandem with the gentler rhythms of love and tradition. The household, like a miniature aglow with shell gold accents, reveals not only the external order, but the intangible harmony binding its members. As the sun climbs higher, the quiet diligence of these early hours gives way to the warmth of shared presence, and the day's unfolding promises a symphony of duty and kinship, where every gesture, every word, is a stroke in the enduring portrait of samurai family life.